don't do this, it's a waste of time. Do this instead. So what is it I'm doing instead of that? The two scale exercises are exactly the same. What I do is making my brain work musically on the material I'm practicing mechanically on my instrument. When I practice these jazz exercises, my brain is already working out phrases and licks and lines I want to play in my music. So basically, when I'm training these mechanical exercises, my brain is already working with the musical context. So let's take some of the exercises, work them out and find out how we can put them into a musical context. Thirds in the scale are a super common jazz exercise. And I think everybody at one point in their life, by a teacher or by a YouTube tutorial, is advised to play thirds in the scale. But why should you? Let me just show you what I'm thinking while I'm practicing thirds in the scale. Thirds in the scale for me is a bunch of approach notes. You see in this phrase I'm going to C major, I'm using a bunch of approach notes towards that E going up. All thirds in the scale are enclosures, so leading towards the next third interval. So look at what this small arrow is doing. It's pointing towards the next target note. In this phrase you can see that I'm applying the third interval as an enclosure all over the place. I literally just plug a part of the exercise and add this as an enclosure into my little lick. When I play this exercise and when I want to transform them into music, often I do not use full exercise, I only take a part of the exercise. Because no matter how well played an exercise is, it's always an exercise. So I really try to think of the third interval as a concept that I can use in my music and add this into my music, and not a bunch of exercise I have to use in my music. In the first bar of this lick you see that I'm using the third intervals. So I basically just plug them from anywhere in the third interval exercise. I try to see the exercise from any angle or from any step in the scale. Always thinking of alternative ways to add them into my music. Can I play it up? Can I play it down? What if? What if? What if? When looking at this straight scale exercise I played in the beginning of this video, I see so many possibilities for playing jazz lines. Some of these scale lines I can use directly into my music, just playing that D minor scale down in the first bar. But very often I cut the scales into pieces to use smaller parts of these scales. Like I'm doing with this little scale part from the F to the D. So do we need to play all exercises in all possible ways? No. Work with the material at hand. Start developing the material when you get to it, and when you find new ideas, when you get inspired, you tweak the material and make new exercise. Let's look into this. What I like to do and think is a really smart way of doing this is starting with a lick or starting with an exercise. If we start with a lick, we take some of the lick and add this into an exercise. And this way you really get versatile in playing that part of a lick, and then it becomes the full circle. We started with the common scale exercise up and down. We turned this into a lick using that full scale moving down on that D minor chord. At some point later in the lick we took this little scale part from the F to the D, moving that up. Then we made an exercise out of that one and moved that around in the scale. A part of that exercise became a new lick, this one. And then I apply it into this line and it sounds amazing. So basically when I'm playing any exercise I already think of where can I add this exercise into my music. How can I make it as musical as possible? Training these exercises means that you must think them into a context and how you can play them musically in your own music. If you want to take a closer look on any of the exercises or any of the licks in this lesson, I advise you to download the lesson manual PDF on Patreon. I have of course added all exercises, but also a ton more exercises, and all of them I have linked into nice licks that you can really get a feel of how to play the exercise and then immediately use it into your music as a lick or a phrase. And in this way you get a very clear view on how the exercise and how the lines are connected, and this is one thing. The download link to the lesson manual PDF on Patreon is right here. Of course, I need to recommend you this video. When you're playing jazz, you need a lot of scale exercise, but you do not need them all. You need the most important ones to start with. These are the 4 most important scale exercises. Please take a look. Play music, have fun.